Absolutely. Getting ready for this partner forward. This is the Palm Beach Breakers versus the South Beach Palms. South Florida face down right now, seeing who goes to the playoffs. A lot on the line here. And they're off. South Beach Palms versus the Palm Beach Breakers. That's Nikki Rogers on the left-hand side of your screen and Corey Hendon. Corey Hendon going just a little bit faster than Nikki. Corey Hendon, of course, one of the fastest in the league for barbell cycling. I mean, this is only his second year, but he is seriously a standout.
Yeah, we saw Corey Hendon make his name for himself last year. Coach Bryleigh said that he should have been in the competition for Rookie of the Year, but unfortunately their record didn't help that cause. But he is such an incredible athlete. Then we see Nikki Rogers, who is making his claim at being Rookie of the Year. He was a big part of that Breakers team yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. The Breakers are in a tie right now with the Brigade that is going to be determined after they review that match specifically. But it's Haley Booker right now in the first quadrant, Bryleigh Hansen in the first quadrant. As they move down, it's going to be Johnny Caraballo and Nikki Rogers going head-to-head. Nikki Rogers just slightly ahead. Not sure what happened here. There must have been a fall for Caraballo, but look how fast Bryleigh is, not even having to do that. They're going to switch out as quickly as possible. That's going to bring in Brett Henry and Jess Placencia. Nikki Rogers and Haley are tagging out for Rose Scott and Evan Newman. Who better?
Oh, man, the Palms, they need this lead right now because on the Breaker side, when you see Ro and Evan on that side, that's definitely two people you don't want to see in that fourth quadrant right now. But the Palms did exactly what they're supposed to do in the first two quadrants in getting that lead that they need.
Absolutely. Brett Henry, Jess Placencia working off here, and they are going as quickly as possible. The Palms are facing 2 losses right now, so this is essentially their Hail Mary chance to even have a chance of doing anything else in the regular season. So they're going to have to try really, really hard. Confusion about the hash marks, but that's not a big deal. Brett Henry is jumping over those boxes. Rose Scott is going to have to go really fast as she does, but Jess Placencia last rep remaining, and the Palms stand out. Partner forward from them, probably one of the best times, but unfortunately something just happened to Jess Placencia. Not sure if it was kind of like a shin splint or what. She's kind of saying that she's okay, but she's in pain and clutching herself. That is not a good sign, especially on the first race of the day.
Oh, no. Jess was actually on one of my athletes to watch. She is a strong athlete, very versatile, and she jumped over the box. She really didn't. She landed like you typically do, but then she completely collapsed on the ground and immediately grabbed her calf. I'm hoping it's not anything bad, but right now it's not looking good. Right now I think they're grabbing some medics, but she may have been something with her calf.
Oh man, so early in the match, unfortunately. It's so sad to see. Hopefully she's okay, but we're gonna go ahead and give them a little bit of privacy, and we're gonna wait for a medic to go ahead and assess the situation. Just wait 1 second for us and we'll be right back. Welcome back, friends. Unfortunate situation. It looks like Jess Placencia tweaked her knee a little bit. Hopefully it's not anything too serious, but she was assisted off of the grid by a medic and Corey Hendon. So our thoughts and prayers are with her during this time as we go into the next race. So let's go ahead and take a look at our rosters and talk a little bit about that.
All right, so we are going to, sorry, I did have Jess Placencia as one of my people to watch, but we don't know what's going on there, so I am actually going to trade that to Bryleigh Hansen. trade that to Bryleigh Hansen because she is the leader of this team, and she is going to have to reassess where you put in somebody important like Jess right there. And then, of course, since Heather isn't here, Bryleigh's going to have to take a lot of that load. I'm also going to be looking at Clark Lawson. I am a Clark Lawson fan.
Oh, yeah.
So he is on my watch as Rookie of the Year. We don't have a screen, so we just kind of, you see him, number 57
Close
right
enough.
there. But he is such an amazing athlete. Yeah, he is little, he's fast, but he understands what grid speed is. And I'm also going to be looking at my guy, Johnny Caraballo. So
Caraballo.
Okay, thank you. Johnny, I'm gonna get your name right by the end of the season. Please forgive me. But he has a ringer point. He's short. He's fast. He's very dynamic. He has a ringer point coming up. So I'm excited to see him on the burpee box.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a standout guy, and he was actually helping out yesterday with Bryleigh Hansen when we were understaffed. So shout out to them. Let's go ahead and go to the other team, the Palm Beach Breakers. This is going to be the roster.
All right. So I'm gonna be looking at first and foremost Loredana, Niroda. So she used to play for the Palms last year, so definitely going to be looking at her with a new team. Also, Billy Dodd, and she had a strong showing yesterday. And then, of course, going to be looking at Nikki Rogers, who is
30 seconds.
All right, so the mirror basically is essentially a race. If we could take a look at the grid really quick, excuse us. So they're going to be doing men and women facing each other in every quadrant, doing 10 reps. So 10 reps in the first quadrant, second, third, and fourth. They're going to be switching players, and the way that the barbell moves is using human racks. So they're going to be carrying the barbell essentially to the next one without it touching the ground.
Stand by. Race.
And they're off. We're looking at Rasmussen and Lawson for the South Beach Palms. And for the Breakers, it's going to be Nikki Rogers and Ro Scott. Nikki and Ro are going so fast on this element here.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Ro do 2 quadrants. She's a very strong athlete, and she's been in the game for a long time. And she is taking this Breakers team on, putting this Breakers team on her back there. So it'll be interesting over here looking at the Palm, who they're going to have to cover for Jess Valencia. Pretty sure we saw her in the mirror. So the women are really going to have to step up to fill that void.
Definitely. Hendon and Trubiano, great duo here for the Palms. Few reps remaining, but the Breakers are already in the next quadrant, making up some time with Haley and Nathan over there as Newman comes onto it with Billy Dodd as well. She's one of the smaller athletes, but she is really an all-around, well-rounded athlete for them. Secord and Henry over here for the South Beach Palms, but they're going to have to do some damage control here if they're going to win this next race here for the mirror. Evan Newman and Dodd are just finishing up their last few reps as they make it into the fourth quadrant. You can see them going into the next one. Caraballo holding onto the bar with Rasmussen once again. Alyssa and Jojo in the fourth quadrant for the Palm Beach Breakers. Slight lead here, just 1 rep ahead. Hands up in the air for both teams. Hands up in the air, 3 fingers in the air for the Breakers. Few reps remaining. Who will take it? Holding up that bar. 1 rep remaining for Alyssa. And that is a Palm Beach Breakers mirror win. That was really close. Bryleigh is not happy about that outcome. I'm not sure what was happening with the transition there, but
The Palms missed the opportunity to really sneak one out because they actually called up in the fourth quadrant. Alyssa still had like 3 more reps to go, and they had a strong showing, but I think that was Rasmussen and Johnny in the last quadrant, and they called up, but as soon as they finished, they waited way too long to just drop the bar and move, and the Breakers, that allowed the Breakers to come back and steal the win.
Yeah, the Breakers did it nasty too, like the way that they slammed their barbells down and like ran into the finish line, it was pretty sick. We love to see that, especially when it's so close. So we're gonna go ahead and get ready for the ringer point race. This next ringer point is going to be the 5 burpee box jump overs. It's going to be 5 different boxes at different heights, and I'll get you those specifics in just a second. It's going to be Jonathan Restrepo from the Breakers, and it's going to be Johnny Caraballo for the Palms. It's going to be a good matchup. Both of them are very springy. And this is going to be a toss-up because Jonathan is a little longer, but he's got some,
explosive.
remember those moon boots?
Yes.
Yes, that's what he has on his feet all the time. So interesting to see how that will turn out. But you have the option, friends, to change the outcome of this match by doing the fan-voted bringer point. All right, so if you go to unitedgridleague.com/vote, you can be a part of whichever ringer we see at the end of the match after the male triad. So what you want to do right now is go to unitedgridleague.com/vote to make sure your vote is counted and we can see how it affects the outcome of this matchup. But for now, let's go ahead and see the ringer options as we go into this first one. Here are the options here, friends. We have all of these except for the box jump overs and the legless rope climb. So everything else is up for grab for you to vote on. Once again, unitedgridleague.com/vote. This one is going to be the box jump overs. Taylor, go ahead and tell them the heights.
All right, so these are burpee box jump overs. The height's going to be 30 inches that they have to go through consecutively. So you're going to see these athletes start in quadrant 1. They're going to have to perform a burpee, come up, jump on top of the bar or over on the box, and then they're going to have to do that for a succession of 5 reps, finishing with a sprint to the finish.
That's right, Taylor. Let's go ahead and...
The Breakers won the last race. However, they played a player that was not eligible. Therefore, they will take a 0 for that race.
Wow, friends, I don't know if you heard that, but it looks like the Breakers got that win taken away. They had an illegal player on the grid. That is a tough one, especially from, Matt Hornaday and Matt Evans, the 2 Matts, trying to put everything together for this team that could possibly be a championship contending team. Little mistakes like that are going to get you, especially when the Palms are as hungry and struggled as much as they have this weekend as well.
Oh, my goodness. We've seen it in several different matches where we have roster rules. So don't know who exactly was the ineligible athlete. I don't know if Shay Newell was supposed to be there and they forgot to change that on their roster, which was still declared. Whatever it was, don't know. But there was an athlete that was played that wasn't, it may have been Jojo. Actually, because Jojo is on here listed as an alternate. So Jojo, yes. So Jojo is typically a starter. So they may have forgotten to sub Jojo in, which would have made him ineligible. So even though they won, they will receive a 0 for that, and the Palms will still receive 1 point. Such a crazy change of events.
Unfortunate mistake there, but we're getting ready to watch this ringer point race. I'm seeing Jonathan Restrepo jump right now, and it's absolutely insane, but don't count Johnny Caraballo out. He may be small, but he's got a spring in his step as well.
He's explosive.
Yes, definitely. A lot at stake here. Jonathan versus Johnny. Palms versus Breakers. The Breakers have yet to win a race because they had that second one taken away from them. The score is currently 1 for the Breakers. Palms leading by 2 with a total of 3 points.
Referees ready. Lapier ready. Stand by. Race.
And they're in. Johnny Caraballo, first one touching the box, slightly ahead of Jonathan. If he could keep this pace, he's going to win this one. Jonathan behind by almost an entire rep, and Johnny Caraballo is going to take it for the Palms. Wow.
Let's go, Johnny.
Oh
my
goodness.
God.
You couldn't even blink, friends, or you would have missed it, though, how fast both of them were going. But Jonathan just kind of fell behind just a little bit at some point there, maybe around the 2nd or 3rd box. He took too long on the floor while Johnny was just using himself to bounce off the floor, essentially.
Jonathan, he is such an explosive and springy athlete, but he actually chose to clear the box while Johnny jumped on top of the box.
Oh, so that's going to give you some momentum on the way down, too.
So what happened, Jonathan, on his very first burpee, he came up and he hesitated because he's clearing the box. Johnny, because he's not clearing the box, he has a little bit more confidence, so he was able to jump on top of it without that hesitation, and that little hesitation just got him, just got Jonathan. That little hesitation, because if you're gonna clear the box, it's a full commitment there.
Yeah.
And because that little hesitation, unfortunately, that risk to reward there didn't really pay off there, but still very impressive showing for both athletes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
We're going to have to see if he finished within 20% of the palms, but this is the palms comeback that I'm sure that they were hoping for going into this next one. Really exciting stuff. As we go into the echoes, you're going to learn about it. We're going to wait right here, and we'll be back.
The echo race is made up of 4 stations of elements that each must be completed before moving on in the race. 1 male and 1 female are allowed on the grid at any given time, but only 1 player at a time can perform reps. Substitutions may happen at any time. Once the echo race is complete, get ready, because the same race will be repeated 45 seconds later. This race is about managing fatigue with your best players and leveraging roster depth to keep performance at a max pace through the second echo. Remember, get ready to do it again in the echo race.
Welcome back in, friends. We're getting ready for this next race. It's going to be the Echo. So far, the score is 2 for the Breakers and 5 for the Palms. Rough start for the Breakers, having put in an illegal player and, of course, missing some people, everything not going according to plan. But the Palms are showing that they're really hungry as the underdogs in this one.
Look, I know the Palms on record says 0-2, but they're not an 0-2 team. They are very, very talented. And honestly, when Coach Bryleigh coming into the season, she was excited about this team because they for the most part, they had a full roster. They got a lot of talent on their team. Unfortunately, had a few bad breaks in the last couple of matches, but they are a very competitive and always been scrappy team. So even though they take a couple of bumps here and there, they will always fight to the end.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and see what we can look forward to in this next race, the Echo.
All right, the men and women are going to be sharing a 205-pound barbell. The men are going to be performing cleans. The women are going to be performing deadlifts. Then they're going to go into 20 toes over a bar into a bar muscle up. Then it's going to be followed by 6 15-foot rope climbs. Then they're going to be sharing another 165-pound barbell for 30 reps. The men will be performing ground to overhead. The women will be performing cleans.
That's right, Taylor. This is one that the Breakers are going to need to come back from and come out strong, because it's really hard to win the second Echo if you fall behind in the first, because there's only 45 seconds in between. That's why it's called the Echo.
Echo, echo.
Yep, you're going to do it twice, 45 seconds of rest in between, so it's not like the coach could tell you, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to do this and this and this. You know, you don't have time for that. You have to go from the finish line right back to the start line. So finishing this as quickly as possible and maybe being able to strategize is going to be key for the Breakers to come back here.
And I'm looking for the Breakers to start making their comeback right now, especially with those drop kicks, those toes over the bar into a bar muscle up. They have a strong showing, strong athletes in Sabrina, Cheney, and probably Nathan Cobb there, and be able to conquer those rope climbs.
Absolutely. Echo race starting. Palms versus Breakers. Sam Secord and Corey Hendon coming out for the Palms. Looks like Haley Booker coming out for the Breakers. And she is coming out with Andres. Andres is just taking his time going to the bar, getting ready for that gymnastics. Andres, of course, used to play for the Miami Freaks, then for the Venom, and now he is with the disbanded pieces of the Venom that went to the Breakers. Corey Hendon waiting in the wings for the Palms to do that gymnastics as well. And as we spoke about earlier, the women have to do deadlifts, but the men have to do a longer movement. So it's really in their best interest to put women in this and let them do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And both women, both squads have very strong women there, and they're utilizing that. Probably going to have to use more of their men on the back end as well, too, with that 165-pound bar. But you see it up here, Corey Hendon, one of the smaller guys, and really not known for a little bit of his gymnastics, but he can do a little bit of everything, teaming up with Captain Bryleigh Hansen.
Yeah, a little trouble starting that waterfall, but Bryleigh had the mind to kind of wait for him and not tell him what to do. Just let him hit that rhythm, and she will follow because she knows she has the more experience of knowing when to start that waterfall. Andres and Sabrina doing it on the other side for the Palm Beach Breakers. Andres still has not come off of the bar since he has started, and Cristofides is first on that rope climb all the way up. Sabrina Cheney going a little bit slower as Cristofides already finished 2 reps to her 1. Nathan Cobb is coming out for his. Is it legless for the men? And
No, it's just rope climbs. They can do whatever they want.
All right, Bryleigh Hansen coming in for her team as Nathan Cobb tries to finish up for the Breakers and make up that time that they lost. Brett Henry coming in for the Palms.
Corey Hendon and Bryleigh Hansen had a really good flow going on, actually, with the drop kicks. We allow Steven to come in and Superman that rope climb. And the Palm Beach Breakers, they were just a little bit off sync, which got them far behind there, but they have strong and capable barbell athletes on the other side. So the Palms are really going to have to go, because I see Evan over here who crushes that 4th quadrant, and Rose Scott won't let go of that bar.
Absolutely. Sabrina Tabor struggling over here. She is a rookie, but she's struggling with knowing what grid speed is. I think she's a local that Bryleigh signed last minute. Rose Scott slowing down a little bit as well, having worked yesterday, but look at the speed on Evan Newman. I mean, I would trust Evan Newman on my life if it had to come down to between him and a barbell. Brett Henry going pretty fast as well for the Palms, trying to keep up as the Breakers try to close that gap as much as possible. And it looks, according to our beta testing, that the Breakers are closing this gap, as the Palms did have the lead, but they lost it due to that slow cycling at the beginning of this echo. 5 reps remaining for the Palm Beach Breakers, few reps remaining for the Palms. It looks like the Breakers are gonna have this. Alyssa Martinez working, 2 reps remaining, hands up in the air for the Palms, last rep for the Breakers, and they are going to take echo 1.
Oh man, this is what I was afraid of with the Palms. We're losing Jess Palencia. She is one of their strong athletes, and you'll typically see her in the 4th quadrant crushing that barbell. But when she went down, they had to bring in other athletes that just cannot move that bar as fast as she can. So you're gonna have to get a bigger lead on the Breakers, because they just have so many people that can just destroy that bar in the 4th quadrant.
That's such a great point, because in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, Tabor's a rookie. She's not really used to what grid speed is. Echo is one of the fastest, and Jess Placencia, they must have put her in last minute, being that Jess Placencia is out. So we're going to have to see how this goes. 12 seconds left until Echo 2, and we're going to see how this plays out, if the Palms are able to come back and fix what went wrong last time. Let's go ahead and see it.
Stand by. Race.
And they're off. Haley Booker for the Palms, Brielle Trupiano for the Palms, Haley Booker for the Breakers. This is going to be a close one, friends. I'm sure it's going to be a lot closer than last time. And of course, it's going to be the same thing as last time. They're maybe just changing the strategy just a little bit after doing it like 45 seconds ago.
Exactly. And the Breakers, they're moving with a little bit more pep in their step. I think they got the cobwebs dusted off, and they took a couple of L's at the beginning. But I think they're going to clean up these toe over the bar into bar muscle ups a lot cleaner. But the Palms, they have to stay aggressive here and get a bigger lead if they want to combat the Breakers at the end.
That's right. It looks like they're starting at just about the same time. Clark Lawson and Andres Montenegro are kind of bumping feet there, so they're going to have to time that a little bit better. I mean, not that they could. They're facing away from each other. It was just kind of like, get out of my way, because they were going at the exact same time when they kicked back. So Clark Lawson, Andres Montenegro, and Bryleigh Hansen and Sabrina Cheney working South Beach Palms in the lead this time.
Clark Lawson is such a stud. He's so strong. His feet is up there pretty much almost going parallel to the ground. But Steven, goodness.
Oh, yeah. Cristofides, he's coming out, and they were missing him last match, but he is such an asset for the Palms on the gymnastics side.
Yeah, we'll will be seeing him. He's giving us a little bit of a preview. We're going to be seeing him a little bit later in that legless rope climb going against Dylan Fullwood in a 3-legless later.
Absolutely. 3 reps remaining for the Palms as they have the lead in this one. Evan Newman starting off, going into those as quickly as he can as Corey Hendon comes out to finish these last 2 reps out for the rope climb. Tabor is going to come out for the barbell. She's going to have to speed up a little bit more than she did last time as Rose Scott is trying to waterfall these with Evan Newman and finish those up as she approaches the barbell. Sabrina Tabor is holding on to that barbell 2 reps ahead before Rose Scott even touches the bar because Evan still has 1 rep to go here. Looks like it's going to be a give or take. Echo 2 here as Johnny Caraballo takes control of the barbell. Oh, so good as he goes into this. Maybe a little bit of bouncing, I hate to say, but we're going to find out in a second in case a judge calls it. I'm sure that might be reviewed later. Rasmussen waiting to take the bar from Caraballo any second as soon as he gets tired, but we're going to find out. Evan Newman on the other side, going as quickly as he can. He's going for a more close grip snatch technique as Johnny Caraballo is doing more clean and jerks.
Yeah, the Palms definitely needed this. They got to the bar a lot sooner where they were able to accumulate at least 6 or 7 reps before Rowe was able to start on their side. And they need that because the breakers are just so strong on their end. So they look like that they are just far enough ahead, they should be able to hold on to it.
Yep, 2 reps remaining for the South Beach Palms, and Clark Lawson, Rasmussen taking it over as they finish ahead of the breakers in Echo 2.
Ooh, they needed that. They needed that. Again, like, this shows the importance of Jess over there. But now that Bryleigh is doing a great job with adjusting the roster on the fly while still competing at the same time, playing head coach and star athlete as well too. But putting people in the much needed roles, but also making sure that people are executing the roles and staying within the standards.
Definitely. It was a tough one for them. It was give or take,
yeah.
So that's always fun to watch. But we're going to find out in a second what exactly is going on as we go into the next race. We're going to get that score tabulated for you. In the meantime, go ahead and learn a little something, and we'll be right back.
The ladder consists of 2 rows of 4 stations of a strength-based element, 1 row for males and 1 row for females. The weight increases as you move down the grid. Teams send out 1 player at a time, alternating male and female, to perform the designated lift for the match format. Each successful lift has a point value that is added to the team's ladder score. The point value is equal to the quadrant the barbell is sitting in. Players are allowed 1 lift attempt per quadrant and may skip any quadrant they choose, but are never allowed to backtrack once a barbell is passed. The team with the highest total point value at the end of the 4-minute time cap wins. This race is one of the most strategic and coach-reliant of all of the races. As a good game plan and in-the-moment decision-making, to manage time is everything. Remember, lift heavier and score higher in the ladder race.
Peachy athletic shorts, guys. Just saying. Looking peachy.
And the peaches are great. They're really stretchy. They're soft.
I like the fit. I like the fabric. It makes me just feel more comfortable while I'm working out. I don't have to worry about things coming out.
Love training in these shorts. Love competing in the shorts. They stay put. Got a really nice thick waistband.
They definitely pass the squat test and the booty test. They're really comfortable. Like, I can wear them out and I can wear them on the floor.
So I still feel covered, but able to do all the movements.
Go get yourself some.
Welcome back. I'm here with Clark Lawson of the South Beach Palms. Clark, you have a very strong start to this match. So tell me how you're feeling and tell me what's going into this, especially missing so many people and all the flights being changed and everything.
Just communication with the team has been great for this match. Everybody stepped up. Everybody's doing their part. You know, we had a mishap with Jess there. We're praying that she's okay. But you know what? You got to be able to change things on the fly. That's what grit is, you know, being able to do everything that you can for your team no matter what. So I'm just thankful and blessed. He'll always give me the power and ability to do this with my team because this has been awesome.
Absolutely, and speaking of that, I hear that you're a big grid fan. So tell me how you found out about grid and what your journey's been like to finally play on the grid.
Man, so this is year 10 doing like fitness, CrossFit. I was super obese as a kid, and I started doing CrossFit to lose weight, and then I found grid, and I have some friends who played in the old SAGL, the Southern Amateur Grid League. I have some friends who like did the MPGL, and so I've been watching grid forever, and it's surreal stepping out on the floor because I never thought I'd be here, and just the Palms have been so welcoming, and it's been awesome. It's been so cool.
That's awesome. And what was it like to, be a part of the Palms? Like, how did you find out that you were going to be a part of the Palms? Did they find you? Did you find them?
Yeah, so I had paid the money, the $25 to do the American Grid Trials, and was about to do it. And then the owner of Thick Boy, Mark Short, shout out Mark, is a member at my affiliate in Knoxville, Tennessee. Shout out CrossFit Courageous. And he was like, "What are you doing, Clark?" I'm like, "Well, I'm about to do the grid trials." He's like, "Hold on, let me make a phone call." So we called Bryleigh, and Bryleigh was like, "Send me XYZ." And then here I am like 6 months later.
That's amazing. Congratulations. Good luck on the rest of your match, and best of luck. Go ahead and tell me what we can expect, Taylor.
All right, coming in for the ladder, we have the ground to overhead ladder. The men's weight is going to go 225, 250, 275, and 300 pounds. The women's weight will go 135, 155, 175, and 195 pounds. The athletes will have an opportunity to accumulate as many bars as they can, earning points for their respective bar in the quadrant. If they hit the bar in quadrant 1, they earn 1 point. If they hit and successfully complete the bar in quadrant 4, earn 4 points. They have the opportunity of earning 10 points for their respective teams.
That's right, Taylor. It's going to be a good one going into this ladder just because, do we know what happened with that possible challenge flag on the floor? Was that kind of a fluke? Did someone drop it?
I didn't see a challenge flag out there. So I think we were talking about a potential of Johnny's reps potentially coming down and him bouncing it.
I saw a challenge flag on the floor on the breaker side. I don't know if they decided to rescind it or what's happening, but
maybe because the time differential, it may have not affected it, so they may have picked it back up, kind of like the last one, maybe. That's probably how we missed it.
We could go ahead and ask later. We could talk to head coaches a little bit, but exciting stuff happening here on the grid, and this is going to be a heavy ladder.
Yeah, so we have the ground to overhead ladder, meaning the athletes have an option of getting that bar from ground to overhead however they like. They can snatch it, they can clean and jerk it, they can muscle it. It doesn't matter, just as long as that bar goes from ground and finishes over their head. But each athlete only has one attempt at the bar, but they can skip bars. But whatever bar that they successfully complete, they will earn that respective bar's number of points for their team. So if they hit the 4th bar, they earn 4 points. If they hit the 1st bar, they earn 1 point.
Some breaking news from headquarters here. It looks like the breakers called their challenge a little bit too late. So that's what went on there. So it was on the floor, it was on the breaker side, but they called it too late because I believe, forgive me if I'm wrong, is it 1 minute after the end of the race?
It's 30 seconds to 1 minute. I'm not quite sure, but again, like depending on with the echo, I think it's 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Josh Newell in the comments will correct me.
Yeah, let us know, Josh. He's like the rule book expert apparently over here. Shout out to Josh watching from home and Shay, who are not part of the breakers. Oh, it actually is 1 minute, Taylor.
It's 1 minute. All right,
Thank
we
you
got
for that
confirmation.
headquarters.
30 seconds times 2.
Alrighty, we're getting ready to watch this ladder. It's gonna be a good one. I also have the results of the fan voted ringer with 66%, but I'm not gonna tell you yet. Just letting you know that it was 66% of the votes. What do you think it was? Yeah, go ahead and comment down below which one you think won. A lot of good options here, but we'll find out.
Well, which one do you want to see?
Yeah, which one do you want to see? We've seen a lot of, the handstands. We've seen a lot of the flip sled kind of ones,
running.
like the different, like very interesting ones that you don't really see in a lot of other sports. So that's a lot of fun.
Actually glad that they did the burpee to box jump over. I wasn't quite sure how that setup was, but it's been pretty fun to watch.
Who told me that was the Super Mario Brothers ringer point? That's
I like
so
it.
funny.
We need to change it to that.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to get Nintendo sponsorship in here.
I know, earn points at the top.
Yeah. Alrighty, ladder starting in just 10 seconds. Strength versus strength. Plenty of time to get through, 4 minutes for this one. All right, this is the ground to overhead ladder. You can do it however you want. Jojo and Artur coming out, both of them opting to do clean and jerks. Jojo barely letting it rest on his shoulder. Artur as well. I'm sure it's gonna get harder and harder as they go down the grid as the weight goes up. But Jojo is going a lot faster here. He's already into the next one. Artur is hitting that 4th bar. As Rose Scott is coming out for the breakers. Artur in the air, and that is a ladder clear for Artur. Artur, shout out to him. He's really gotten a lot stronger over the years as he's continued to play grid. Rose Scott already into that 4th quadrant. She's standing it up. Let's do a jerk. Very easy for Rose to finish here.
Artur is actually a wild card, so this was one of his 2 races that he was doing, and the Palms needed some much-needed strength on here, so it's good to see Artur here, and we're definitely going to be seeing him for the 9-foot to 9-inch burpee.
Absolutely, Sam Secord clearing the ladder. One thing to mention, the super wild card, you get 1 per season, and the Palms just decided to use it to bring in Sabrina Tabor for this race, for the ladder, because they really need as many points as they're going to get. They need to close that gap, and they are missing Jess Placencia, which I'm sure threw a huge wrench into all their plans. I mean, she is the central, pull that brings in their teams together sometimes.
And right now with the Palms, just record being 0-2, why not throw it? You need every single point that you can get right now, and they are taking, Bryleigh is taking full advantage of that, especially against this strong, very, very strong breakers team.
Absolutely, hope it works out for them. Nathan Cobb coming in, and he is in that 2nd quadrant, going down the grid pretty fast, and he is strong. Riel Trupiano is coming out, formerly Macarelli. She is in that 3rd quadrant, clearing that bar. A lot of ladder clears for both of these teams. Of course, the score at the bottom of your screen is in testing. Oh, unfortunately, that is going to be a fault for Trupiano in the 4th quadrant. Cobb finishing for the breakers as Billy Dodd comes out for the breakers. Brett Henry for the Palms. We're going to have to pay close attention here. Hopefully that this strategy works out for Bryleigh because they only get the 1 super wild card. I think they're seeing this as their last chance.
Exactly, and I'm up here looking at Billy Dodd right now. She is going after that 4th bar. Last year we saw her do a lot of the body weight stuff, but she has been working her butt off all the off season. To see her clear the ladder, that's pretty awesome to watch.
Absolutely. Evan Newman coming out for the breakers. He's so fun in these ladders and any of these barbell movements. He's definitely who I'm putting my money on. Oh, here we go. Here is a grid debut from Sabrina over here. Tabor. She is that super wild card. You can see her on the right-hand side of your screen. Sabrina Tabor going as quickly as she can, but she's not used to ladder speed. Let's see if she can clear this ladder. That is a good rookie clear. First ladder clear for Sabrina Tabor, and that's a great wild card call that they should have.
Yeah, so she is definitely showing her strength. She made light work of that. Bryleigh may want to look to sign her and keep her on the team for the future and give her another year to develop.
Definitely Clark Lawson approaching that 3rd bar. They're taking their time just a little bit more as we only have about 40 seconds left in this match. Clark Lawson with a split jerk, but he is not going for the 4th. As the next person comes out, she wasn't paying attention, but Rasmussen is coming out for the Palms. Small mistakes like that are going to get you in these situations. Haley Booker clearing the ladder. Rasmussen coming down, hitting that 4th bar. As Andres Montenegro, bodyweight specialist, is trying for that 3rd bar over there for the breakers. Let's see if he could do it.
Yeah. So
that is a clean, full clean, a little bit difficult. Let's see if he can hit the jerk. That is a great jerk. A lot of shoulder strength from Andres, but he's going to get out of there. And the next one, Johnny Caraballo getting in there just in time. We're going to have to tabulate that score and see how that went, Taylor, because that was really intense.
That was good. That was good. The Palms, unfortunately, had a couple of key misses in that 4th quadrant. I think if they would have hit maybe 1 or 2 of those bars, the Palms could have sneaked away with that one, but I think the breakers were just too strong and had so many athletes, especially on the women's side, hit that 4th quadrant there. I think they may take it just by a few points.
That's right. I mean, who knows? You know, hopefully at least the Palms, for throwing that super wild card out there, they at least get that 1 point of credit. Otherwise, that will be pretty rough. The ladder is being cleared, but we have some shout-outs to do before we get into the next bringer point race. Shout out to all of these grid affiliated gyms, our partner gyms, if you will. If you go to one of these gyms, chances are you are a friend of a grid athlete, coach, owner, or just a super fan. Let's go ahead and go to the next graphic. I'm personally part of Team Omnia that's over there in South Florida. It's a USA weightlifting gym owned by coach and owner Paul Baer of the Las Vegas Venom.
And I am a coach and member of JC Fit here in Jersey City. Shout out to the crew. We showed up big and strong yesterday. And also shout out to all the Northeast teams that are on, or gyms that are on here. We got CrossFit Secaucus, 908 Athletic, CrossFit Salis, Cross Union City CrossFit, and all the other, and CrossFit 401 represented a lot of the Wolves.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and take it to Kendrick.
And the fans have voted. We got the results for the fan-voted ringer point players. Pay attention, coaches. Pay attention. Here's how it works. Out of 6 total ringer points, each coach locked in 1, and we put the remaining 4 to a global vote. Today will be the flip sled. 350 pounds for the men, 200 pounds for the women. They're going to have to flip that sled from the start line all the way to the finish line. Stay tuned for the fan-voted ringer point.
Wow, Taylor, and that won by 66% of the vote, one of the biggest percentages that we've seen all weekend. And I'm looking at the players' reactions as they're saying that and they're announcing it. It looks like both of those teams wanted that one, which maybe explains the huge margin, but they both feel confident, so I don't know what that means.
I don't know, honestly, because on both sides, they were clapping and nodding their heads. And both teams have very strong and capable man athletes that can do it. But again, it's right after the men's triad. So I don't know if we're going to see what the brigade did and still utilize one of their men there, or they're going to allow a woman to take the load. And it's going to be a lighter bar for lighter flip sled for the women. But if you have somebody that can do it, it could be an advantage.
Absolutely. We're going to have to see how that one turns out. In the meantime, this next race is the ringer point. But we are finding out the winner of that ladder. It's going to be Breakers 81, Palms 76. So they finished within 10 points, so the Palms are going to get 1 point of credit for that one. But that is a Breakers race win.
They needed that.
Yeah, they absolutely did, as the disparity between the two teams continued to grow, but they're stopping the bleeding just a little bit there. Once again, that flip sled was 66% of the votes, but this next one is presented by Little Leaf Farms, the most modern greenhouse in the world, bringing you sustainably grown local lettuce all year round. Find out if there's a Little Leaf Farm near you at littleleaffarms.com. This next one is going to be the legless rope climbs. It's going to be 3 of them in total.
So the men it is going to be Dylan Fullwood and Steven Christofides. So both of them are such incredibly strong rope climbs. They are going to be jumping and climbing to 15 feet legless for 3 reps and then sprinting to the end.
That is absolutely right. We know that Dilly is really good at this one. Dilly Fullwood of the Breakers. He's done stuff like this before. We know what his capacity is. But seeing Christofides, who's a rookie, on that rope climb earlier, I'm not super confident.
I don't know. Dilly is fresh.
Yeah,
so
that's
he's just
true.
coming in. So Steven, he's great, but he's also jumps into it. Dilly tends to be a little bit more control as long as they jump straight up and have less swing. And I'm looking at their descent and who spends less time on the floor.
Absolutely, a really tough one. Christofides and Fullwood, 3 legless rope climbs to the top. And they're off. Dilly maybe getting there just a hair earlier. Both of them running into it. But look at Christofides with that speed. Absolutely crazy. 2 reps remaining. Christofides is halfway up before Dilly even starts on that rope climb. And he is almost finished. Last one. He needs a little swing to get to the top. And Christofides is taking the ringer point for the South Beach Palms. Taylor, I told you I saw him on that rope climb earlier. I knew that he was not playing games.
Look, I never doubted Steven. I was just like, I wonder if it was going to make a difference with Dilly coming in a little bit fresh. Steven said, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Steven got that dog in him. I see you, Steven. I see you. I'm watching. Great job. That was amazing.
Oh my gosh, goodness gracious. It is such an amazing ringer point for both of these people and so exciting, but the palms are
scrappy.
The palms are so scrappy is the word. They really want it. I mean, not that the breakers don't, but they just have it together. They knew that they were coming into this a mess, and they're making that mess work. And even with the huge injury and blow to the team with Jess Placencia at the beginning of this match.
Man, I feel like the palms can't catch a break at times.
Yeah.
Because they go hard the entire time, no matter what the score is. And all their matches always seem to come down to the sprint relay, and it just hasn't turned the tide for them quite yet. But Bryleigh has a really good opportunity to really do some damage over the next couple of years if she could just keep a healthy and fresh team out here.
100% agree. You're going to learn a little bit about the next race, which is the Jack and Jill, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what's to come.
Jack and Jill features 3 stations of high-level body weight-based elements that increase in difficulty moving down the grid. 1 male and 1 female are allowed on the grid at any given time, and only 1 player can be working at a time. The team can only move on to the next station when the previous station is complete. This race is the simplest when it comes to rules, but the most reliant on player skill and speed, as the hyper-specialists often make the difference in the race. Remember, let the bodyweight ninjas fly in the Jack and Jill race.
Cook less and live more with rebuilt meals. Fresh, nutritious meals, chef-prepared and perfectly portioned to help you hit your macros. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning. No commitments and no contracts. Rebuilt Meals offers plans to satisfy any lifestyle. We offer gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free options, and the menu changes every week, so you'll never get bored. Let us do the cooking so you can do all the living. Visit rebuiltmeals.com and use promo code RebuiltReady for 50% off your first order.
Welcome back, friends. As we're getting that new score, I'm going to see it in just a second. It looks like the new score is going to be 8-11 here. Shout out to Ruby and the Georges for bringing her little minis to do the score. They are so awesome. But we are getting ready for this next one. It's going to be the Jack and Jill. Let's see what we can expect for this particular match format.
All right, men and women are going to be sharing 60 handstand push-ups, followed by 30 10-inch deficit handstand push-ups. Then they're going to be finished with 10 freestanding handstand push-ups.
So this one is a lot of shoulders. The breakers, of course, have Jonathan Restrepo. He's one of the best handstand push-uppers in the league. Like, you can't even question that. And we're going to have to see what the Palms can figure out here, because if I'm not mistaken, they do usually put Jess in this race, but it looks like Corey Hendon is confident. Corey Hendon, all-around amazing athlete. He could do it all. He could do the really strong strength movements for the strength specialist. He could do the very skilled bodyweight specialist movements, so he's a little bit of everything here. Great asset for them.
Yeah, definitely going to be looking at who comes off these handstand push-ups the first. The athletes, typically the athletes with the shorter levers are going to fare a little bit quicker, but seeing how many athletes choose to utilize the strict technique compared to the kipping, but who can get to those deficits the fastest.
Absolutely. Nikki Rogers looks like he's getting set up. Loredana Niroda, of course, she's obviously very good, making her way all the way here to New Jersey from Dubai, here at the American Dream in New Jersey.
I know, going against her former team. So we're going to be seeing her in a new color, new uniform, and she's coming out first time against her new team. Oh, her team.
Corey Hendon, Nikki Rogers, they're kind of playing the same role on both of their teams. So this is going to be a cool one to see how they pull this one out and seeing them side by side on the split screen. Nikki Rogers, Corey Hendon getting ready for those handstand push-ups. Of course, one person working at a time. This is where you would normally see waterfalls done, but since there's only one station per movement, it's just gonna have to be really fast transition. Let's see how big of a set these players do. Nikki Rogers is opting to go strict, and Corey Hendon is using a little bit more momentum than he is. Nikki Rogers starting to slow down, but he was keeping a stronger pace than Corey going into this, and they are switching out. Loredana Niroda is coming out for the Palm Beach Breakers.
Yeah, Nikki just killed a fast set of 30 reps, and then bringing it into a short shorter stature, Loredana, who you see barely even locks out, but it's going to make her a lot faster, which is going to put them at a huge advantage for the deficit handstand push-ups.
Absolutely. Bryleigh Hansen finishing her set. She has to really extend her elbows. She's faulted a few because she's not really extending all the way. It's really shady. But the breakers are already on to the next movement, the deficit. It's a 10-inch deficit for them, friends. That's Jonathan Restrepo that you're seeing upside down for the breakers, and Johnny Caraballo for the palms. Look at the speed on Johnny.
He is up, I'm up here looking at Johnny. He was almost doing a jumping jack on his hands, so just coming off of that deficit. He's just so strong and so powerful right there. But they really need some help from the breakers if they want to come back and have a chance to be competitive.
Absolutely. Rose Scott chipping away on the other side of the grid. Bryleigh Trippiano taking over, but she's pretty fatigued. She's had to take up a lot of work as well since Jess Placencia was out. But Rose Scott is keeping that steady pace as they go into the next one. They are already on the freestanding handstand movement. Andres Montenegro working at those. Loredana Niroda taking over as Bryleigh gets upside down and starts for the palms. 1 rep remaining, and they are on to the next movement. First movement starts for Bryleigh, but the breakers have already taken it with Andres and Loredana on the opposite side of the grid. Wow.
Oh my
What a
God.
standout Jack and Jill for the breakers that they really needed.
They needed that. They were already in full control pretty much with a huge set of speedy reps from Nikki Rogers at the beginning, and they just never relinquished that lead.
3 reps remaining for Bryleigh and the palms. She was faulting, which is basically a no rep, because Corey Hendon was still working on the deficit while she was working upside down already on the freestanding. So none of those counted that she did, and she ended up getting fatigued from that. Super frustrating for her, especially because the judge that was counting her out didn't exactly notice until it was too late, because Brandon, who is the head referee, there's always a head referee watching over whatever is happening, had his back turned to the other person.
And Bryleigh, she's typically clean and pretty solid at that. And you can see her come off in frustration, like, where am I at? So she was like trying to figure out what was going on. Because she's typically, she doesn't get a lot of faults, especially in the freestanding. She's very high-skilled gymnast, but so that was this morning, but they were able to get that 1 point.
Absolutely, and they might have to pause here and take a look at that for just a second, but it's gonna, oh, nope, they're going ahead and they're clearing everything out. We're getting ready for the triad coming next, but unfortunate for them, Bryleigh is not only a player, but also a coach. So nobody's there to tell her how many reps she has left. She's upside down trying to figure it out herself. You know, she's waiting upside down in that movement.
Literally, she's literally coaching herself. Typically, you'll have a coach on the sidelines kind of guiding the athletes as to where they're at, how many reps that they have left to come off the grid or whatever to transition. She is all that and competing at the same time. So not only does she have to keep herself mentally into it, but she has to make sure that the rest of her team knows what they're doing as well, too.
Absolutely, well said, Taylor. But let's go ahead and take it to the Triad Explainer video. You're going to learn, and we'll be right back.
The Triad is the only race in which there is a male and a female version performed separately. It consists of 5 elements, each with 3 stations that must be completed individually. 3 players can be on the grid at any given time. All players can perform at any station and in any order. But all of the designated reps must be performed at each station. All 3 stations of each element must be complete before the team can move on to the next element. The triad is all about player conditioning and managing fatigue across the team. The best strategy ensures players have enough left in the tank for the last element and has backup plans for when things inevitably go wrong. Remember, try to catch your breath in the triad race.
1, 2, 3,
Back in. Here's what you can expect for the triad.
All right, for the women's triad, we're going to start off with 14 bar-facing burpees right into 20 toes to bar, then 10 dumbbell-weighted pistols at 30 pounds. Then we have 12 overhead squats with 115 pounds, and then the athletes are going to flip 450 pounds of that flip sled across the length of the grid, and the first 2 across that finish line will win.
Alrighty, I have the results of who is doing the fan-voted ringer now. It's going to be the flip sled, we already know, but it's going to be 2 men is what we didn't. It's going to be Brett Henry for the palms, and it's going to be Andrew Dodd for the breakers. Dodd having a size advantage over Henry, but not by much. Both of them play similar roles on their teams as well.
I think this is a very good choice because I don't think either team really has a woman that could be in contention that I would feel confident enough to perform this. So unfortunately, a guy's going to have to do this. The issue is that Brett Henry is more than likely going to be coming off the triad doing this, whereas Andrew Dodd, I think, is going to be a little bit more fresh in doing it. So Brett Henry, we've seen him do it. He's very strong, very capable of doing this. And so, Andrew, we're going to see which strategy is going to play out. But this is going to be Andrew's opportunity to really make a name for himself and take out Brett.
Absolutely, but we're going to see how the females fare against each other now. It's going to be 3 females working at a time here on the grid for the female triad. Starting off with those burpees, but we've seen this happen earlier, Taylor. Where did they start to lose it on these movements, and what is kind of the difference maker for that?
Oh, wow. So this one, first of all, this triad changed a little bit, with the first thing being the bar-facing burpees. This is just a horrible thing to change to because it jacks up your heart rate from the beginning with an already tough triad ahead. So I'm going to be looking to see people going from the dumbbell pistols into the overhead. That's 2 squat movements going back to back. Whoever can work through those overhead squats the fastest and get at least 2 people to that flip sled to begin flipping it first will definitely have the advantage going in.
I'd say so too, like getting to that flip sled, and we've seen a lot of hesitation on the grid of people like not even starting until all 3 are there, when you really don't have to do that. It could just be the one person. As long as you get it up and over for that first flip, you even get it closer to the person that's trying to come back.
Exactly. If you got somebody strong enough that can just start flipping on their own, go ahead. But the rule is that you can't have anybody else touch the flip sled until they've been physically tagged in. So the team that can have at least 2 athletes that can start and get it going there, and try to get maybe 1 or 2 flips before the other team is definitely going to have a huge advantage.
Definitely. This is going to be an exciting one, especially starting off with those burpees. We've seen a lot of switching at the beginning. We see people just tire out their beginning players with the burpees and then switch entirely out for a different set of female players.
And also going to be the personnel as well, too. I know the Palms are hurting a little bit with the loss of Jess Valencia, so they're going to have to utilize their athletes well without burning them out so they can finish strong. You got to finish fast, but you got to finish. You can't kill them in the front end.
Definitely. Getting ready here. 19 seconds until the start of this female triad. Who do you think is going to take this, friends? Don't forget to chime in the comments. Let me hear it.
Players ready. Stand by. Race.
And there are females versus females. Bryleigh, Hansen, Trupiano, and Amber Bose coming out on the grid for the first time today. On your right side now, it's going to be the breakers with Billy Dodd, Sabrina Cheney, and Loredana Niroda.
And I'm going to be looking at Loredana to be doing a lot of the work on the front end, and even possibly some pistols as well, to kind of pushing the pace for the athletes out here. But also Sabrina Cheney, she is such a beast. She's really good at gymnastics, but she's also very strong and very versatile as well too. And Billy Dodd has been putting in a lot of work in offseason.
Look at the speed on Loredana Niroda's toes to bar. Those are absolutely insane, and she is just a little thing. She makes it look so easy, and she barely uses any momentum. That's all core strength there. She is an absolute unit, and she is the first off before going to those pistols. She already has it standing up as the rest of the breakers are getting started. Yep, they are starting first on those pistols. 3 reps in before the other girls get there. Few reps remaining for the Palms on this one. Amber Bose, Trupiano, and Hansen really struggling with this as they have to do a lot of work here, Taylor.
Oh man, I would love to see Loredana like close it down on the flip sled. If they have the lead, can we just have Loredana just touch the flip sled? That'd be awesome to see her close over here. But the Palms, they are trying to do everything they can to make up some time over here. They're strong enough to handle the overhead squat, but they are down a girl. So let's see if they can hold on to it.
Definitely. Billy Dodd, Alyssa Martinez, and Rose Scott on those overhead squats. Rose doing a really close overhead squat, close grip there, which makes it maybe a little bit harder on her for the balance. She's walking forward just a little bit. But Sam Secord, Trupiano, and Rasmussen just getting over here. Sam Secord halfway done with her set as Billy Dodd is going to switch out for Alyssa. Whoa, Sabrina Cheney. They're waiting a long time to start this flip side. This is what we were talking about, Taylor. It's not really necessary, especially when you're going to look back at times.
I know. I was looking. It was just Sabrina down there. She's strong, but I don't think that she could pick it up by herself. So she was like, "Come on, Ro, please help, please help." So, but she was already in place, in position there, and Jojo was up there urging the team to hurry up and get down and help their girl out.
Absolutely. Rose Scott, Sabrina Cheney, and Alyssa Martinez, all of them used to actually play on the Venom together on that side, with Rasmussen, Boast, and Secord over here for the Palms, going as quickly as they can to try to keep up, but it is taken away from them as the Breakers ladies cross the finish line. That is a Breakers win for the female triad. The score is getting closer and closer.
Yeah, the Palms, they will finish this. Right now, it's a little bit of just damage control and just staying still in it and just getting points where they can here. But the Breakers find itself, of course, still scratching on that door. This is why I always say there's two different matches that you're playing: the first half and the second half. It matters what happens on that first half, but you don't want to just let your foot off the gas. We've seen a lot of teams come back on that second half.
Absolutely. There's a lot to be done here. We're going to change out that equipment. We'll be right back.
Unlike American football or baseball, where positions are very clearly defined with rules specific to them, grid league positions are more general. Think of it as a spectrum with a 4-foot gymnast on one end and a 400-pound strongman on the other, with every possible size, shape, and skill set focus filling in the middle. Roles on the grid have a lot of crossover from position to position, and there are many possible combinations that will yield a great team. Grid league has 3 primary player positions or roles on the team. Utility players generally have a wide range of abilities and end up with a diverse set of assignments on the grid. Utility players, although often assigned more total work than specialists, will still focus on their best movements as their means to contribute to the team. The strength specialist role often involves heavier assignments and, depending on the player's background, may be even more focused to individual types of strength movement, such as Olympic weightlifting or strongmen. Most of the super high-skill movements like backward roll to support in deficit, freestanding handstand push-ups are performed by bodyweight specialists. That said, there are several bodyweight specialists that mainly focus on more basic movements, but for big sets and fast cycle rates. Many are gymnasts as well, but even some of the best do not have gymnastics backgrounds, such as former MVP Paul Lays. Learn more about the sport of grid lead at fgl.com/learn.
Everybody, I'm here with Haley Booker of the Palm Beach Breakers. Haley, a lot of changes happening with your team, a lot of changes strategy. How is that affecting not only the morale, but your game plan going into today, having so many changes?
Yeah, I think the game plan has definitely changed. So with folks not being able to come in, we've had to adjust. I think you've seen me on a barbell more today than you have all last season and so far this season. So it was a fun change, but we're communicating. We're really trying to adapt. We've had some hiccups here and there, got started off on the wrong foot, but we're doing our best to put it all back together and just finish really strong. So,
how did you expect coming into this match? Because the Palms are 0-2, the Breakers having a stronger squad than usual, I would say, and a lot of people are saying as far as the times go and everything. So talk to me a little bit about what your game plan was going in today and how are you keeping it together as well?
Yeah, I think the game plan was just focus on us. It's like everyone has their own problems. Let's focus on us and what we can control. If someone from another team isn't here, what can we do about that? It's about who we have, what we can do, and putting it out on the grid.
Absolutely. Love your sparkles, by the way, girl. Good luck on the rest of your match. I'm going to take it back to Taylor to see what we can expect for the next one.
All right, for the men's triad, they're going to start off with 14 bar-facing burpees, going into 20 toes to bar, then 10 dumbbell-weighted pistols with 50 pounds, followed by 12 overhead squats at 175 pounds, and they are going to finish with an 80-foot flip sled with 630 pounds on that sled. So you're going to be seeing the exact same thing that the women just finished doing, just with a little bit heavier weight and probably just all balls to the wall, grid speed with the men. So right now, the breakers are made it a little bit more interesting. We're bringing it up, and now they're only trailing by 1 point. They needed every single race here, so they are going to have to still put their foot on the gas, right off that momentum, and just bring it all the way to the sprint relay.
It's really anybody's at this point, and we're going to see how the men fare against each other. Game faces on the grid. You know, the breakers are really trying to close that differential, not having a lead at all, actually, going into this match in this back half with only 3 races remaining, including this one. 1 point differentiates them. It's still anybody's, and this is going to be a dogfight, to say the least. And they're off. Lawson, Cristofides, and Garaballo for the Palms. For the breakers, we're looking at Cobb, Rogers, and Restrepo.
And I'm going to be looking for the Palms man on the back of Clark, Steven, and Johnny to take the brunt of the workload, just to keep their guy Brett a little bit fresher for his flip sled that he has to do right after this. But they have to be fast and aggressive against these breaker men, and they're hesitating just a little bit. They can't do that against these breaker men, so they're going to have a little bit more sense of urgency if they want to sneak one out.
Absolutely. I love the fact that the Palms are able to really ump up the speed when they need to, when Bryleigh tells them to. And the breakers are kind of keeping the same pace, but the Palms are really needing to hurry up on this one, as the breakers did get there faster and are keeping a solid pace there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, again, looking at the pistols, I see Johnny right there. He's getting ready. He's going right into the pistols. He's just so fast and bouncy there. But seeing how these athletes move from the pistols into these overhead squats, they're going to really have to go to get an advantage, to get ahead of the breakers, because they have so many men that can just crank on that flip sled at the end with Jojo and Andrew waiting.
Yeah, take a look at Garaballo over here for the South Beach Palms. I mean, he absolutely crushed it, and he is, you know, he just did all of his and most of Brett Henry's to kind of catch up there, and they did catch up a little bit on the time. They're going to have to switch out to do those overhead squats as quickly as possible. Rogers, Newman, and Cobb on the bar for the Palm Beach Breakers. For the Palms, we're looking at Lawson, Henry, and Hendon.
Yeah, and excuse me, I said Andrew Dodd. I meant to say Nathan Cobb. He was last year's Rookie of the Year. He is all over the grid. You see him doing gymnastics and lifting the barbell, and he is having this sprint. Now he's like the last person on the barbell.
And they're starting the flip sled at the exact same time. I don't know what the hesitation is for both of these teams. Taylor, this is driving me crazy. Evan Newman, Nathan Cobb, Nikki Rogers versus Brett Henry. Lawson and Hendon for the Palms. The breakers have a slight lead here. They're going to have to pick it up faster for the Palms here. The breakers are ahead by just a hair. Brett Henry, Lawson is going to have to slip out, and he's going to be replaced with Cristofides. Oh my gosh, the breakers on the other side finishing off the last few. It looks like this last flip is going to have the breakers win. That's going to be the first lead of the day for the Palm Beach Breakers.
And this is exactly what the Palms didn't need right there. We said because the breakers are just too strong. They have such a big personnel of strong guys that can just flip that thing. And so the Palms are missing a lot of their strength. So they needed to be at least 2 flips ahead of them. Unfortunately, they didn't get that, and they had to change out the end there. So they're going to have to do, Brett Henry is going to have to quickly recover and then come back and do something special for this fan-voted ringer.
Yeah, that was a really tough one, and I love when it comes down to the flip sled like that. So exciting, but the breakers just kind of manhandled that a little bit harder. That hesitation absolutely killed me, though.
We've been seeing that. We've been seeing that, but it's also been one person on one end. It's like, shoot, if I was there with the adrenaline, I would just try to get it up there.
I don't know, Taylor. They were all there. Both teams hesitated, you know?
They just got to go. And at that point, there's no 1, 2, 3 lift. It's just pick it up, and you better follow me.
Yep, exactly. You have to, like, monkey see, monkey do.
Look, Venom, Wolves, if y'all hearing this, pick up the flip sled.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Exactly.
Pick it up, have somebody there, just go.
1,000%, Taylor. We're going into this next race. It's going to be the fan-voted ringer. Let's go ahead and take a look at the screen and see what we can expect. We're going to see some flip sled again, Taylor. Go ahead and tell them what the weight is.
All right, we're going to see the flip sled. Right now, they have 2 men going. They're going to load up or reload the bar to 350 pounds this time. So the athletes are going to have to flip the sled all the way down 80 feet of the grid. So the entire flip sled has to cross the finish line in order to be declared the winner.
That's right, and we're looking at Brett Henry for the Palms, who actually just helped do that flip sled, as well as Andrew Dodd for the breakers. They kept him a little bit fresher going into this ringer point, so he does have the advantage there. That's what depth of roster is going to do for you there, but both of them really strong. Andrew, I believe, did this one before, if I'm not mistaken, but Brett, we've definitely seen before do this.
Yeah, definitely. And Andrew, he is a long, just brute country boy of a guy there, so I'm pretty sure. I remember they used to say that Trish Davis would sleep with a flip sled, so he looked like he's a country boy. He probably sleeps with a flip sled, so it'll be awesome to see him in action. He has that lane, he has the levers, so once he gets it off the ground, as long as he's able to, I will push it as far and hard as he can. Use those long lanes to just try to cover as much ground as possible.
Yeah, definitely. As they're loading this up, we're looking at everybody and their game faces. It's getting really intense, and both of them seemed excited for this ringer point, so we're just going to have to see how it turns out between them. I mean, the score is even now. I misspoke earlier. I thought the breakers finally took the lead, but it's even now. So there's only 2 races remaining, and that is going to make it everything count just that much more.
Yeah, so I was trying to, so I'm up there looking at the boys right now, but I haven't seen Brett yet. Okay, I think he was just taking a breather, still trying to recover from that triad right now. So I'm gonna be seeing if his back is gonna be a little bit flared up, how fast he can get off the out the floor, excuse me, and to see if that triad did affect him just a little bit.
Definitely. I am really excited to see this one. Game faces are on. Brett Henry with the shades. We are in kind of like a glass dome, so it's very bright in here. The sun could get in your face. He's like, let me protect my eyes real quick. Andrew Dodd on the other side. He is ready for the action. 66% of you voted for this one. This is the one that's going to change the outcome of this match potentially, and this is all your doing. So make sure you continue to vote during every single match during that first ringer point race. You could vote up to 3 days in advance. UniteGridLeague.com/vote. And they're off. Andrew Dodd, Brett Henry, Andrew, man, he is just getting really into that. He's in the second quadrant before Brett. Brett's gonna have to pick it up. Can Andrew hold this pace for the flip sled and control it? If he gets too out of control, that's how it can be messed up. Brett Henry trying to stay as close as possible. Andrew Dodd, 1 rep remaining for him as he goes in, and the breakers are going to win that ringer point race. Shout out to the Dodds, Billy and Andrew, a married couple on the breakers team. So cool to see them do that together. A very close race as well with Brett Henry there, and this is finally the first breakers lead in the whole entire match.
I had to look back at Andrew's flip sled to see if they put the right weight on there, because the way he picked it up, it looked like it was just empty. He just made light work of that. That was so good. As soon as it came off the floor, I was like, oh, goodness, that's bad news for Brett right there. But, again, he just came off the triad as well, too. We've seen Brett really attack this before, but Andrew was just like, look, my team needs me right now. I'm going to show out for them.
Absolutely. This is a really good one. And we're getting ready for a sprint relay. This is going to be a doozy. We're going to see it happen. Don't go anywhere. You're going to learn something. We'll be back.
The sprint relay is the final race of every match and is worth an extra point for the race win. It is a relay race with one player allowed on the grid at a time and 8 elements to perform. Any player can perform on any element, and substitutions can happen at any time, except when a player performs the last rep of an element. In that case, the player must run back to the start line, perform a 4-point touch behind the start line, and sprint through to the finish line, permanently leaving the race. The next player may enter once the previous one has crossed the finish line. The only exception is the distance element that ends at the finish line with no sprint back required. The catch is, 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements. The sprint relay is a great balance of strategy to decide which players in what order are the best combination, along with clean and well-executed elements by the players, to lead to the best race outcome for the team. Remember, 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements in the sprint relay.
Cristofides of the South Beach Palms. Firstly, Cristofides, where do you come from?
Originally New York up here, northeast area, but I'm from South Carolina, spent some time there, and now Miami.
Oh, nice. Welcome to Miami. I'm there too. A lot of fun here in the New Jersey area, and that must be the energy that you're bringing to the Palms, because you guys were the underdogs going into this. And how does knowing that bring that energy into the next sprint relay, especially with you on the ringer point and all the good things that you brought to the team today?
Yeah, definitely motivated, hungry. We've got a good group of humble individuals. We all work hard. We all do the right thing. We're not in the gym, so we got a good group of people here, so we're very, very fortunate.
Talk to me a little bit about that ringer point going into it. Were you confident? Did you look at the other team player that you knew was going to do it? What was going through your head at that moment?
Well, I certainly have a disadvantage when it comes to height. He's a heck of an athlete. Dude's in great shape. He did very well, so I knew I had to really dig deep, and a lot of practice on those. Oh yeah.
What is your team saying to come together right now? You had a big injury at the beginning of the race in partner forward with Jess Placencia. You really had to pull it together and create new strategies. Bryleigh Hansen is putting it all together by herself with nobody else on the sideline. What is keeping you guys together right now?
Honestly, probably just the motivation through adversity. I mean, regardless of what you're thrown at, you still got to make your way through. We weren't expecting her to get hurt on the first event. However, it is what it is. We got to push through it. We found the bodies to put in, and we're going to make it through it. And I'm confident in my team. We're going to make it through this.
This is all down to the sprint relay. Good luck on the rest of your match, and we'll be right back.
Shout out to my boys in Miami.
All right, we're going to finish things out with the sprint relay with 20 wall balls to a 10-foot high target. They're going to be using 20 pounds, followed by 15 overhead squats at 185 pounds. They're going to go into a 40-foot back handspring into a 4-point touch, and then 80-foot handstand wall going the length of the grid, the 6 deck to pullovers, followed by 12 dumbbell hang snatches at 40 pounds, then 9 burpee to 9-foot, 9-inch ring touch, and they're going to finish with 8 clean and jerks at 225 pounds.
That's right, Taylor. Going into the sprint relay, everything is on the table. 2-point lead right now going into it, so there's 3 points to be made in a sprint relay. So basically the winner of this takes it all.
Well, 3 points now, 4 points, because the Palms just threw the bonus flag.
Oh, they are confident in this one, especially with that dude Cabral going to be doing the burpee to ring. We actually saw a dude right now. He put, I don't know if you see, there's handprints on the grid. So that's where he has to put his hands, and he knew to mark them beforehand. So smart on him for doing that, and just, you know, veteran knowledge for stuff like that.
Arturo was having a little bit of travel problem, so the Palms was very, very nervous for him to miss, because even though he was a wild card, he was only doing 2 races. Very, very important 2 races that he needed, with this one being the biggest one right here. So it's going to probably come down to the 9-foot, 9-inch ring touch.
4 points on the line here. Let's see it. And they're off. Rasmussen for the Palms, and it is Cobb for the Breakers. I mean, Cobb just totally attacked the beginning of that. He is 1 or 2 reps ahead of Rasmussen going into this. They do have the same height and the same weight of ball. Doesn't matter who you are, you're doing the same exact thing on the grid for the sprint relay.
Yeah, so this one is going to be fast, it's going to be aggressive, and we said it at the beginning, Palms are extremely scrappy, and it always comes down to the sprint relay with this team right here. So we're going to see if they can get over the hump and pull out the victory on this one.
Absolutely. As they go for that 4-point touch, they are getting out of there, but Breakers lost their slight lead there by switching into Alyssa Martinez. That would cost them just a little bit of time as Corey Hendon approaches the barbell. And, sorry, Evan Newman on the other side, he got faulted for not extending his hips all the way at the top. Corey Hendon chipping away the slight lead that the Palms have here now.
Yeah, the overhead squat is, these guys can handle it, but it's such a tough one because if you don't open up those hips, it's very easy to get a costly no rep.
Absolutely. 4-point touch, and they're getting out of there. Evan Newman, one of the fastest on the barbell. He was able to close that gap just a bit against the Palms here, and that's going to bring out Bryleigh Hansen, Brielle Cipriano, one of the fastest in the league at those back handsprings. Sabrina Cheney not too far behind. 4-point touch. Oh, Sabrina's going to fall, and she is going to sprint to the finish. Wow, way to get up there, Sabrina, because she totally fell on the ground, lapped it off, and still finished at the same time as Brielle here. Bryleigh Hansen coming down, walking on her hands, same time as Loredana Niroda. Loredana used to play for Bryleigh Hansen, Team the Palms, so funny to see them going against each other here at the end, and they're crossing the finish line as that gives the Breakers the time to come up again. Clark Lawson on the bar. Oh, but that is Jonathan Restrepo on the other side, and he is so fast.
Yeah, they're going about at the same speed. Unfortunately, Clark isn't going as fast as he needs to make up ground, so it's going to have to come down to see who can get to those burpee to rings, and you definitely don't want Artur go over there with the giraffe himself.
Absolutely. Jonathan Restrepo finished with those. Clark Lawson finishing those as it brings out Rose Scott for the Palm Beach Breakers here. South Beach Palms are bringing out Sam Secord.
Yeah, the Breakers is doing exactly what they need to do. They need to give Dylan time to take his time and make sure that every single rep counts for that burpee to 9 foot. But it's going to come down to this. Whoever finishes and gets through with these 9 burpee to ring touch, I think it's definitely going to finish it.
Last rep for Sam Secord, and she is getting out of there, and that brings Dilly Fullwood out for the Palm Beach Breakers. That was a fault on that first rep as Sam Secord gets out of there. Dilly is swinging that ring now. Artur Cabral is coming out for that burpee 9 foot to 9 inch ring. Faults for Dilly, Artur is keeping it a little bit more control. Hand in the air for Artur. I don't see a hand in the air on the opposite side of the grid, and I couldn't tell you where I am. This is where the South Beach Palms are coming back. And the South Beach Palms 4-point touch for Artur. They knew to throw this bonus flag, and this might be a South Beach Palms win here. Going into this next element, we're looking at Brett Henry at the end. Dilly Fullwood crumbling under the pressure here after he swings that ring. Brett Henry on that last barbell, clean and jerks, ground to overhead as he finishes. 5 reps remaining for him. Who are they bringing out for that barbell? None other than Nicky Rogers, but he has some ground to make up. 2 reps remaining as of right now for the South Beach Palms. Nicky having to make up a lot of ground. Nicky is going fast. Brett Henry is slowing down just a bit, but there's only 1 rep remaining. Can he finish that 1 rep? Brett Henry finishing off. 2 reps remaining for Nicky Rogers. Is going to come down to the sprint if Brett Henry doesn't hurry up. And Brett Henry taking it home for the South Beach Palms. This is a South Beach Palms match win. What an upset.
Oh my God. Red, my guy. Somebody give my guy an ice bath after this.
Yeah, somebody buy him a beer while you're at it. He's been putting in that work.
Give him a beer in the ice tub. He came out and made this one match work. With Jess Palencia going down, they had to do some altering of their entire match or strategy, and they came down, and Brett was like, I want to put this bar down, but I know I can, and came out with a huge, huge first win for the South Beach Palms.
This is the first official loss of the season for the Palm Beach Breakers, and I'm sure they didn't expect it to be handed to them by the South Beach Palms, but this is New York, the American dream, and dreams do come true here, and that is exactly what happened here today. Anything is possible here at the Grid League with this depth of talent in the league.
We said it earlier that the 0-2 record for the Palms didn't really serve them justice. They are a really good and scrappy team, and unfortunately, they've been on the bad side of the sprint relay, and about time they finally had one swing in their favor. And we're still trying to figure out what's going on between the Breakers and the Brigade. They're tied from yesterday, so how this shakes out with the playoffs, we said these are gonna, this weekend's gonna shake some things off, but whew. Oh, Dallas is going to be fun.
Oh my gosh. This is like the Breakers are definitely hurt by this. I know that they were trying to be, you know, the undefeated team of the season, and they thought this was going to be one of those coastings, but this is just one of those things. You never know what's going to happen. Corey Hendon finally picking up his first win. I know that he's pumped about it, and this is such a great match. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Cassie Martinez.
And I'm Taylor Stalling.